But dog, I think one of the first foreign films that you showed me was fucking Love Exposure, and that's a comedy. That's a rom com, right? Like, and
Yeah,
I still think about that movie to this day. Homeboy got that martial art down of sliding that camera up under that girl's skirt and being like, "Click, got you."
that
Snap
was
it back. She ain't even know what happened, and he just continued about his business like ain't nothing happened.
dude. Love exposure. Yeah,
That is a wild. That
that is
movie's
a
three
wild
hours and
movie. It
is
was
a
a
wild
4 hour film.
ride.
It's a four
It's
hour
four
film.
hours,
Yeah, it should be longer. I want 2 extra
dog.
hours.
Like, and the what gets me is that it's like you think that you're watching a rom com, and then the background of this is like this whole cult thing that goes
Yeah,
ham in the second half. Like, and
yeah,
it's there in the first half, so it shouldn't be like that big of a surprise, but it kind of is because you're like, I don't think they're gonna do that, and then they do it, and you're like, how long is
yeah,
this movie? How long is this
yeah.
movie?
There's so many like story beats in that, and when you think about it in paper, it sounds like a mess. But
When you watch it, it's like fine.
yeah, like you're just immersed in it. Um, I think we're all as humans, I think we all love stories. And I think what I like the most about films or the types of movies that I like is I like anything where I can see that the director or the writer is genuinely like passionate about what they do.
Hmm.
Even if it's bad, because we can watch bad films. Like we've watched some bad
Yeah, we
movies.
watched The Room. We watched
Yeah,
The Room before people were telling us that The Room was a cult classic.
yeah. And in the beginning, I was we at first we thought we're watching this to laugh at it, but then
It got serious.
it got dead
It
serious, and
got
we're like,
real
holy shit.
serious.
Yeah, and it made me think like, dude, these directors, I mean, they're genuinely just passionate about what they do. I mean, it is you can the end result is bad, but I think just seeing that is in an odd way, it's inspiring because if they can do it, they can make something and just like it's famous for the wrong reasons. But maybe
It's
it is
still
for the right
famous
reasons.
though. No, no, it's still famous though. We don't give out we don't give out negative compliments here. It's that movie is famous.
That's not famous. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like people can do shit like that. It harkens back to what we did as kids. Like it all goes back to when we were kids. We were just creating shit because it was fun, despite the end result. And I think now we're so focused on creating something that everybody likes or it has to be perfect. And when I see something like Love Exposure, I'm just in it, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't care about the runtime. I don't care if this has a beginning, middle, and end, because it's emotionally all over the place, but it all fits in a way. And I'm like, dude, this is really cool. It feels refreshing. So I'm into any film, honestly, especially when it's something as personal to the writer. Like
Yeah, no,
if
but
it's
I'm
something
talking
that
about like you specifically. Like what like when you see something and you're like, okay, well I might be interested in this. Let me give this a shot. But like, what's the type of stuff
oh
that you gravitate
what
to?
would draw me?
Because like honestly, between me and you, it's like, dog, we just like movies, right? Like we'll
Yeah,
sit down. Like if it looks interesting, if like the synopsis or whatever gets you, we're like, hey yo, fuck it, I'll watch it. Like we fuck it, we ball. Right, that
right.
Nicolas Cage movie with the pig. I heard that shit. And I saw that trailer and I was like,
Oh, I didn't watch it yet.
baby, that movie looked intense for no reason.
Mm.
Dude, somebody comes, rolls up, steals this man's truffle pig, and he goes on a manhunt to find and murder the dude who took the pig.
It's like
And and see, like I'm saying this like it's the most serious thing in the world, but you also have to realize that Nicolas Cage is starring in this movie, and he is serious as fuck.
right.
And so you suddenly your
Dark.
expectations shift because you're like, oh, that's probably gonna be a comedy. It's like, no, no, no,
I know he's this.
he's gonna kill that guy.
Oh, what man? What would draw me? I feel like I give less movies a chance right now. I think I'm more lazier now.
Because you know, well, I mean, also it's like a time investment.
Time investment. It's also I do feel distractions too, and not for the right reasons. Because I could be like, you know what? I'm gonna make time and I'm gonna watch this thing. But I think just over the years, I've just been less patient because of distractions, and it's not good.
Less patient
Um,
because the old waifus got you down bad, huh?
waifus, the waifus,
Yeah, the waifus.
the which waifus?
Yeah, you know which ones I'm talking about. With that counter side, man.
The gotcha games, yeah. Dude, the gotcha game is turning my brain small, man. I felt like my brain was bigger as a kid, and now it's like it's just turning into pea size. Like now my attention span it's like the equivalent of a doorknob. Um, I think no, no. What would draw me to a film is I look at the trailers a lot.
Mm.
And if the trailers seem interesting, then I'll watch it. Or if I see a poster, a lot of times, sometimes it's just a poster
Ah,
and a
okay.
word of mouth. So I look at a
Ooh,
poster and then you'll come to me and be like, I heard that was about that. And I heard it was good. And I'm like, I'm gonna watch this. Or if you tell me that something's good, yeah, nowadays it's word of mouth. So if my friends told me something was great, I'm more than willing to consider it. Like
that's great.
probably
Yo,
100%.
that's actually nuts because like a lot of the times what'll happen to me is because like I follow like action Twitter for some strange I don't know how this happened. I think somebody was posting kung fu clips and I was like, yo, bet. So I just followed the guy and he was like, hey yo, but I got a list of other dudes who like the exact same shit. So I was like, all right, bet. So I follow all these dudes and I basically end up on action Twitter, on film action Twitter. And I'm like, okay, cool, right?
Yeah.
So they also they're like kind of like in the same vein that we are. They'll watch basically damn near anything. Like if it's interesting to them, they'll watch it.
Yeah.
And sometimes people like they'll talk and they'll be like, oh, this is good because of this, or I enjoyed this film because of that, this, that, and the other. And speaking of that, you have there's this series on Netflix, and I can't remember the exact. I'll get it to you, but it's about a bunch of gangs. It's a Japanese movie, and it all takes place in like this one particular part, and it's like split into five, and
Send it to me.
the whole group is abbreviated because it's called sword, like for the five gangs, the first letter in each one spells out sword. It is some of the most edge lord, but also like just it has so much heart.
I'm in there. I'm
It
a
has
peep.
so much heart. I'm on the second movie. I'm trying to get to that third one, but you gonna like it. I
Oh,
was not like dude was like, "Yo, I cried at like 3 points in this movie." I'm like,
wow.
ain't no way in the world." I watched it and I was like, "I'm not crying. You're crying."
Dang. I'm a peep. Yeah, send it to me.
But yeah, nah. That. But again, like those dudes, that stuff. Whenever I hear about stuff like that, I try to watch it, but it's hard to like set aside 2 hours, and not feel like, oh damn, I should be drawing or I should be doing something or I should maybe like take a break and go play a video game for like an hour
Yeah,
or two. But when
yeah,
you have to like sit through a film, like you are guaranteed for like 2 hours to not be doing anything but watching that film. And so I kind of get why
yeah. Take an
you might not
investment.
do that as much anymore. Like especially
Yeah,
because like it's not like we're all getting together to like hang out or something and talk about the film afterward. Because like
yeah,
again, that's like a community event, right?
yeah,
We're hanging out to watch this film and then talk about it afterward.
yeah, yeah. I think it'll be easier if we watched the film together. Watching it together and me just popping it on, it'll make it a lot easier. Because I have a backlog of shit. Like we all have so many things to watch right now. Um, but before, I used to be a huge snob. Like I would not give certain things a chance, and I've lessened that. I've grown to have a little bit more empathy towards bad taste. I still talk shit about it, but I can also see the side of like, oh, wow, I can enjoy this too.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I picked
so
that up from you, but at the time, I think you was being mad snobby about stuff, and I'm pretty sure that I'm more than sure it was probably like your direct reaction to me and how far up my own ass my nose was about some things, especially regarding like contemporary art and stuff like that. Like it's not that I think that that stuff is bad. I think that everything more or less has a time and a place, but I do think that
yeah,
contemporary art gets a whole lot of things wrong in a weird sense because
what gets wrong? What gets wrong?
it's like the self-importance of it all because like
Yeah,
at the end of the day, like if you're making like this giant sculpture or something that has to fill a space, like you're gonna feel some kind of way about it, like, and not to be like arrogance comes into play there a whole lot, but like I feel like it does a lot of times because they're like, oh well, I'm self-important because I did this, and it's like, no nigga, you just put together a bunch of fucking neon lights and
yeah,
arranged them. you need to chill the fuck out because we're all monkeys speeding around the fucking sun. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not that serious.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like when I met you at SMC, like I think like because I was very like I was more into the contemporary art stuff at that point, and that's more or less what I was being exposed to. Like I already kind of knew where I wanted to be. I knew it wasn't over there, but like I had to deal with contemporary art folks, and so when I was saying stuff like that, I'm pretty sure you were like, "Man, it can't be that bad," but I was like, "No, no, no, it's pretty fucking bad."